Three friends went sailing in 2002. One came back on deck, holding a pair of foam shoes. His friends couldn't stop laughing. Nobody on that boat could have imagined those exact shoes would one day be worn by a sitting US president or build a company worth over $4 billion. This is the story of Crocs and how being ugly became the greatest business strategy nobody planned for. Lyndon Hanson's life had fallen apart. He'd lost his job. His marriage had ended. His mother had just died of cancer. He was sleeping on a friend's couch when Scott Siemens and George Bodecker invited him on a sailing trip to pull him out of it. None of them knew it would become the origin story of a global brand. Below deck, Scott had found strange black foam clogs on a trip to Canada made by a small company called Foam Creations. He'd tinkered with the design, adding a backstrap himself. He handed a pair to his friends. "Those are ugly. I'm not wearing those." But a few days in, curiosity won. They tried them on. Each shoe weighed almost nothing. The foam molded to their feet with body heat. It didn't hold odor. It gripped wet surfaces without leaving marks. By the end of the trip, the same friends who'd mocked the shoe were convinced they'd found something real. They named it Crocs because, like a crocodile, it worked on land and in water. Venture capitalists took one look and turned them down, so the founders funded it themselves. Their plan? Get to the world's largest boat show in Florida and put the shoes directly in people's hands. People laughed, called them ugly, but the founders had already learned the one thing that would define the entire company. They didn't try to convince anyone the shoes looked good. They just said, "Try them on." By the end of the show, they'd sold 1,000 pairs. The ugliness wasn't a flaw to hide. It was the hook that made people stop and look. Nurses discovered them for 12-hour shifts. Chefs found grip on greasy kitchen floors. Gardeners, retirees, parents all found their way to the same strange foam clog. In 2003, Crocs sold 76,000 pairs. By 2006, they went public. The largest footwear IPO in American history. Three friends laughed off a boat deck were now multimillionaires. By 2007, Crocs seemed unstoppable. Golf shoes, dress shoes, boots, sunglasses, even luxury heels priced at $280. Revenue hit $847 million. The President of the United States was photographed wearing them. It looked like the peak of a mountain. It was the edge of a cliff. Customers weren't buying nearly as fast as factories were producing. By 2007, unsold inventory hit $248 million, roughly 30 million unsold pairs. And Crocs weren't failing because nobody could find them. They were failing because you could find them everywhere. Airports, gas stations, garden centers. The same shoe on the president's feet was on everyone's feet. Overexposure turned into fatigue. Fatigue turned into hostility. Two teenagers built a website dedicated to destroying Crocs. Time magazine listed it among the worst inventions ever made. Then reports emerged of the foam catching in escalator gaps, injuring children. Japan issued an official warning. In 2008, the financial crisis hit. A company that posted $168 million in profit the year before posted a $185 million loss. In 2009, their own auditors wrote that Crocs might not survive as a company. One investor put it bluntly, "This company is a zombie. It just doesn't know it's dead yet." The original factory shut down. 2,000 employees laid off. By every measure, Crocs looked finished. Then Blackstone, one of the largest private equity firms in the world, saw something everyone else had missed. The brand was still globally recognized. They invested $200 million and installed Andrew Rees to lead the turnaround. What Rees found stunned him. The original clog, the shoe that built the entire company, now made up only 16% of revenue. Crocs had buried the one thing that made it Crocs. Rees killed almost everything else, closed 160 stores, outsourced manufacturing, the same asset-light model Nike used, and put the company's full weight behind the one product that never needed to be anything other than what it already was. By 2018, the classic clog climbed back to 52% of sales. But the real turning point came from something nobody had taken seriously. Small plastic charms that clicked into the holes on top of each shoe. A mother named Sherry had decorated her kids' Crocs with rhinestones back in 2005. Her husband built a website and called them Jibbits. Crocs bought the company for $20 million and mostly ignored it for years. Reese did the math differently. Every pair had 26 holes. Fill each with a $5 charm, and one customer generates an extra $130 in revenue. Crocs partnered with Post Malone, Justin Bieber, KFC, even Balenciaga. The Post Malone drop sold out in 10 minutes. Then Harry Potter, Marvel, Disney, the NBA. Over 70% of customers, especially younger ones, started buying charms alongside the shoes. By 2019, revenue crossed $1.2 billion. Then COVID hit. The footwear industry crashed. Crocs exploded, comfortable enough to wear all day at home, easy to sanitize. And once again, healthcare workers chose Crocs for their shifts. The company donated hundreds of thousands of pairs worth tens of millions of dollars. At the same time, short-form video was spreading just as fast as the virus. Without spending a cent, Crocs exploded across TikTok. Gen Z customizing shoes, filming unboxings, racking up billions of views for free. By 2024, annual revenue reached $4.1 billion. The story of Crocs isn't really about shoes. For years, people mocked them, called them one of the worst inventions in history. The company believed that laughter tried to become sleeker, more premium, more acceptable. That's exactly when it nearly died. It only came back to life when it stopped apologizing for what it actually was. Because when something looks different, the world laughs at it first. Then it tolerates it. And if you never stop believing in it, the world celebrates it.